but you have some combo ability. Captain Falcon already has that. Like,
Yeah,
what,
exactly.
I don't seem like we're going to gain
He's got the speed. He's got the burst options. So we'll see what tools he's actually going to be able to use here. Because I mean, Dank is a pretty creative player already, and playing against a character like Shulk, who has such tricky options for you to deal with, that creativity is really, really needed here.
Absolutely. Shield art comes out, just immediately stop the combo. We do not want to get sent off stage by Nair off of a down throw, so instead we're going to reset the neutral momentum as Chito's hugging the edge of the stage.
Yeah, and that's kind of a bad place to be unless you get a backsplash slash. Now we are in the speed art, and we're going to be baiting out that up B. Really good stuff coming out from Chito, but Dank firing immediately, just holding that jab button.
Yeah, you can see the approaches are very, very safe from Sir Dank. Just kind of feeling out the matchup a little bit right now, trying to see what Chito's going for, and then unfortunately throwing out your own options. But I like that it's just the up Bs, right? Just kind of like tossing out something that you're never going to be expecting at any time, and so it's not giving away anything.
Yeah, and the other thing too about the up B is that vertical, that horizontal drift is so good. So it's almost impossible to really punish him for it either. As we switch out of the shield, the smash art, and Dank parrying into calling out with a down tilt and just kind of dying for it.
What do you? I mean, you have to DI down and in there, which is super uncomfortable when you're expecting to get back aired. You want to be DIing up and in, right? And so that's exactly what happened. He was DIing for back air whip, but then down tilt just took the stock.
Yeah, and I also love Chito being brave enough to grab Dank out of that Raptor boost there and a landing up air with the smash arts online. Good stuff with the call out for Chito.
That was lovely. Up air too. Okay, shield. Yeah, shield art. You said I can eat one up air, but not three. No one up airs Chito 3 times.
Yeah. Ooh, and I love this off-stage play.
Oh, gorgeous.
Dank kind of known for these reversal situations on the ledge there, and Chito shutting that down entirely and forcing Nick to actually go high and land on stage to reset. I really like how Chito is playing this out against Dank here.
Trying to get back to center right here with those reverse nairs. Nothing doing. Buster Art is out. Getting a little bit of extra damage down before it goes away. And now Smash Art is peak here if you can get advantage state started.
Yeah, we're going to see the jump art here to call out these up Bs from the ledge. And now there's the Smash Art. Can we find something? Dank is going to just jump with the Falcon kick. Really good stuff. And, ooh, just barely getting clipped.
Heartbreak there. I could see what Sir Dank's vision was, but still got clipped by that falling backslash. What is the reset here if you're Chito? How do you get back to center? You don't. Ledge hang for a little bit too long. Down tilt takes the stock.
Yeah, it's scary getting off ledge against Falcon. Dude, he just sits there, and I don't know if you've watched Dank just sit there and hold they just hold jab.
I did it to me round 1.
And it's like, what do I do? How do I get out of this?
Yeah, tragedy there. No jump available, and the stock is traded right back. Chito holding his own against who is probably the top seed of the tournament right now.
Yeah, one of, if not the top seed of the tournament, Sir Dank, as he's going to kind of force Chito into an uncomfortable position with the shield art, unable to really escape all of the speed that Falcon has. And now we see Dank kind of running up and shielding, playing around the platforms, waiting for Chito to actually press a button to find a punish.
Yep, just playing the spacing game, as you are alluding to right now. With the Buster Art out, you don't want to take any more damage than you have to, and eventually it will run out, and then all of the arts that are available have some other drawback. So you're just waiting for those to come out. Speed Art is out. Back, actually, which is surprising so quickly. Dank off stage.
Yeah, we see the Smash Art online, but that up B isn't going to kill just yet. But Dank is waiting because he knows that there comes that backslash. We saw it basically any time that Chito was in the air trying to recover. We saw that aggressive landing with backslash. And Dank was trying to kind of trying to figure out how exactly he could punish that. So I love to drop down and then jump nair to catch it so he doesn't get hit by the hitbox and trade.
What's surprising to me is that I would imagine the hurtbox of Captain Falcon to be pretty horizontal with the nair hitbox, right? And so with a horizontal backslash coming down on you, you'd think it'd be a trade, but that was just straight up beating it. So
yeah,
it must be a little bit higher.
It must be because he's coming from below. He's like rising
the rising
into it.
hitbox.
Yeah, rising hitbox. I think that's definitely part of it. But good stuff for Dank because he figures that out as we hop into a game number 2 here. And are we in best of 5 territory? Do you know?
We are uncertain, and we will find out soon. We're switching stages, then we're going to Town and City. This was the choice by Chito. I like it. Of course, a lot of your kill options on Shulk are looking for the side of the stage, and being able to use speed art to your advantage to run all the way across the stage as needed to recreate space for yourself as a sortie is, of course, something that's always nice for you.
Yeah, but I'm not sure I necessarily like a Town and City switch. against Captain Falcon. It's definitely one of
That's
his
fair.
better stages because he gets, I mean, something that is hard to deny when it comes to Falcon is he creates so much pressure with so few moves.
Right.
The back air, just kind of dashing back and forth. He can create a lot of, like a very large wall that is hard to get through. But Chito doesn't seem to care about any of that right now, just playing super aggressive on the ledge here.
And not getting punished for another backslash right there. I mean, it was very quick. It was a good burst option, but they're just trading blows. And you can start to see how that stage positioning and being able to run all the way across and reset neutral is benefiting Chito.
Yeah, really good stuff. So, hey, he knows something I don't. That's why he's in this position with the stage pick. But I do like how aggressive he's kind of being here. It does give him a lot of room to work with when you're playing on such a large stage.
Yeah, absolutely. Sir Dank is having trouble finding anything right here. Yeah, Falcon kicked that one. You know, you would think it was a missed input if it wasn't Sir Dank, but
yeah,
he really thought he was cooking with something.
It's a good option most of the time. I
Off
mean,
the side platform?
Yeah, I mean, because you get so much verticality from that. And if they're not really ready for it, if they don't really have an answer for a Falcon kick, it's like, okay, now I get center stage for free. What do you do about it? But Chito was really, like, ready for it and able to actually fire back with it. And now he is keeping Dank in kind of a blender here. Love the mind game of spacing here, using the speed art to jump in and out and the well-placed back air. Now we've got Smash Art online. Can we find a kill from Chito? Oh my god, he's just walking around. I love when people do that.
Oh man, yeah. Taking this Smash Art out when you're both at such high percentage is really just attaching another blade to the other end of your sword. But scoop off of the up smash. Sir Dank wasn't ready for it. Dash dancing a little bit too much, and Chito was ready to tango.
I love the walking that Chito is doing here, the kind of micro spacing, but Dank doesn't care about any of that. He's just going to land a raw knee in neutral and secure a stock, and that's a fantastic parry, but unfortunately for Dank, he's not able to get a grab and isn't able to get too much off of those up airs, but he doesn't care as he continues firing on all cylinders.
Says Buster, this is my Buster now. Trying to get back to stage with speed art, not exactly the best thing that you can do is... Oh, man, air slashing to the platform there, and Sir Dank, just as ready for it, has fully evened up what was ultimately a massive deficit.
Yeah, Dank just sitting there going, okay, let me show you a little bit more respect than I usually would against an opponent here, but showing Chito why Dank matching you at that respect level is not something that you necessarily want, because then he can actually just go, okay, so I actually need to bring more to the table here and get even more creative against your wacky options.
Which is something that Sir Dank was kind of alluding to before the game, too, is that Captain Falcon, he said it in fewer words than this, but Captain Falcon is difficult to play because of just how creative you have to be with a character with such linear options.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see how he's able to use that against here, but you can kind of see Chito is not really too scared of him. Again, with this spacing game, with the speed art, just waiting around at a space that doesn't seem like he can actually dash in and get too much off of it, but he's keeping Dank off of him at all times.
Look at it. You're talking about just that, spacing around, not just on the ground, but in the air. As soon as Sir Dank finds an opening, though, he does not let it go easily. The only thing that does let it go is shield art. That's the get-out-of-jail-free card. That means that Sir Dank doesn't get to put you in the blender he wants.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Chito just so thankful for that option in this matchup against a player like Dank. And there's that smash art forward air. It is going to secure the game for Chito, but it's going to be something that is really hard fought as we move on into the set here, because we could already see Dank going, okay, I'm losing this game, right? I might end up dropping a game against Chito here, but you could already see the gears turning as we're moving along, and the way that Dank shifted his gameplay into something a little bit more defensive, waiting for Chito to pick an option and actually punish him for it with taking it as far as humanly possible.
That makes a ton of sense to me, and that's exactly what Sir Dank is kind of known for, is just being able to adapt and be creatively adaptive in the middle of a set, no matter what the deficit is. That said, I don't imagine, I mean, it looks like we're already not, but I don't imagine we go back to Town and City.
Yeah.
The reason that Captain Falcon usually likes Town and City is a lot of kill options off of the side fairly early on via either an edge guard, which is not very easy to do against like jump art Shulk, or like a loose back air, which is most of the time going to get spaced out by one of Shulk's options. You're usually not going to be able to full hop or short hop back air as like a ledge trap as Falcon against Shulk, because you're just going to get swung on or you're just going to get rolled in on. So
yeah, exactly.
We're going to switch to something where you don't have a shallow of walls and you don't give Shulk as much space to make mistakes, or rather give him less space so that his mistakes are more suffocating.
Yeah, exactly. And this is another pretty decent stage for Captain Falcon. He gets access to his wall jump. You don't see a lot of that coming out in most matchups. But when you're on a stage that has walls, it does open up more recovery options for a character whose recovery can be kind of linear.
Yep. And what is another thing that Falcon is known for when looking for these combos? Frame trapping. And there's nothing that a frame trapper loves more than a flat stage.
Oh, yeah. Just those platforms are so good for Falcon for those combo extensions. It's going to be something that Chito's going to have to work really hard to kind of avoid here. But we're in the speed art kind of naring in Dank's face a bunch. I love how oppressive he's being with all of this movement. But Dank is not too scared of him here because he knows, you can tell he's figuring things out, right?
Yeah, you have to imagine the stage bans were more of the claustrophobic stages
Yeah.
where you don't get the option to run away and reset neutral momentum as much as you want, or the speed art doesn't get as much value. But now that we're on Kalos, yes, we talked about all of the things that Falcon gets, but you still have a fairly long stage with those top platforms to reset neutral momentum.
And Dank with a rather aggressive
Oh!
upbeat, but the... All right,
Okay,
a suicide down air with the smash right there is going to take it for Chito. But hey, I mean, if I'm Chito, I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
I was getting cooked. I'm happy with that.
Plenty of fine trade. He said, I'm going for that down air, or I'm going to, read it with me, die trying. Okay, anyways, back to resetting. There's trading some damage back. Shield Art doesn't do damage, but you had to use it. Now Buster Art is back out, and it seems like every time Chito has had Buster Art out, Sir Dank has been the one cooking.
Oh, yeah. But what I'm noticing a lot of is Chito tends to, once he's running out of Shield Art, he tends to want to play a lot more aggressive and switches to the Buster Art for that extended combo game. But Dank has already caught on to that and is so ready for it every single time. And so he's been able to capitalize a lot with it. But, ooh, love the high recovery coming out from Dank there to avoid kind of a backslash coming out.
Shield Art comes out. The up smash would not have connected anyways, but even if it did, would have been eaten by that Shield Art. Both at very high percentages right now, and you can see that Chito's a little bit more hesitant to not pull out the smash art at this point, right? You want to ideally start an advantage state yourself, but pulling out the speed art just to get gentlemaned off of the top platform. That's what you were talking about. Those top platforms, so good for Falcon.
Oh, but I love the call out coming out from Chito there. Able to get a forward smash there, but now we're waiting. Love the get up attack. Good stuff coming out from Dank there. Understanding that in that position, you do have an option. You don't have to be scared of that scoop hitbox with the up smash.
Very true. Wall jump is going to help the recovery. Stalls the recovery out nicely, but the ledge jump is read out by Chito. And usually this late into a set, you don't see Sir Dank's opponents reading him for stocks.
Yeah, no. It definitely is one of those things that are definitely a shock for him. But he's going to keep moving. Oh, my God, the up air train. We're going to keep getting hit by it. And a bad get-up attack against the shield there. Dank's so ready for it, but now he's on the ledge, and he's going to have to find his way back to an advantageous situation because it's not looking good.
Starting with speed art back out, just dissipates. And now we're going with the jump art. You're not going to have a whole lot of horizontal mobility unless you are in the air. Chito's happy with that, goes real high with it. He had the foresight. I wasn't ready for the jump art, but he had the plan the whole time.
That was a really good call out coming from Chito there. Knowing that Dank kind of like to jump around and, avoid a lot of things, but just immediately firing and saying, no, I'm going to meet you in the air here. This is where I'm going to call you out for something that you're just not ready for. Because people don't challenge Dank in the air like that. They just don't do it.
I think that is absolutely, that's probably 70% of it, with the other 30% being, the entire time with jump art out, Chito has not looked for incredibly high follows, right? It's been mostly, let me see if I can just jump around, use the air speed as opposed to the jump height to my advantage. And this is the first time that we saw the jump height go as far as it did because, just like you said, nobody's challenging Sir Dank that high up in the air, except this guy that's now up 2-1.
Yeah, so we'll see if he's able to cinch it out with this game number 4 here as we head into it. But I mean, you could also see it in the player camp. Dank, a very emotional player. So, kind of frustrated by that. But we'll see, because Dank is one of those players that I never want to play against when he's upset.
Yeah.
Like, when he's frustrated by something, he's not somebody I want to play against.
Absolutely.
Very good at channeling those emotions into his gameplay.
Hopefully we can see that play into some more reversals just like that off of the ledge. Now, these are the upbeats that we saw in Game 1 that we stopped seeing in Games 2 and 3. The Falcon dives, making some work happen and racking up about 40% just on their own.
Yeah. So, I mean, he was able to get a double call out there, and you can kind of see it in the way that's happening here. They're not trading a lot of hits here. Dank is in the lead percentage-wise, but you can also just tell by the way Dank is playing that he is currently driving the pace of the match, right? Everything that Chito is doing is in response to something that Dank is already doing. There's the call-out with a good Falcon kick on the switch, but yeah, we're not getting hit by another up air again.
To your point about who's driving right now, it seems like Cheeto's plenty happy to see where the car is going and react to just that. That's what it's allowed these stocks to remain pretty even. An unfortunate SD, though, is going to put Chito ahead, if only temporarily. And it really is only temporarily.
Yeah. It's Sir Dank. If there's a will, there's a way, and he's certainly going to find a way with that Falcon kick in neutral as we take a stock. And now we're going to get the nairs going. Chito is going to have to find something. It's
my God.
The SDs are coming out in spades with this one.
Yeah, I mean, save it for a game 4 where you're ahead, I guess, especially as Chito. That's an early SD. You don't want to have to send it to game 5, but he will have the stage counterpick if needed.
Exactly.
Game's not over, but, looking ahead.
Exactly. So we'll see what he's able to cook up here as Dank is moving. But I love Dank's positioning there, but rolling rather to the ledge there and waiting for Chito to pick an option so he can get the grab and extend a combo. But Chito was able to find a backslash, and he's still fighting his way through this because it's not just over just yet,
I like pulling out the jump art and then using it like you would speed art. It's just the same both ways. You're on this very long stage with these fairly short platforms. Let's just use it to make horizontal momentum with short hop nairs.
Right.
That did allow for a lot of advantage and a little bit of damage, but now, again, you pulled the smash art out this early on. You have to, right?
Exactly.
Like, you have to.
Yeah, you can't risk certain things not killing in the positions that you really need them to. So there is the up air, but it's not going to land. Dank is playing super, super safe right now, playing extremely carefully. I love his dashes into shield, just testing Chito's patience anytime that he approaches.
Oh, I thought that was going to be stock, and it was, but just not in the way that I thought. The reverse Falcon dive, landing him on stage and getting punished means that Chito evens up the stocks. Again, if only temporarily. The read came out, but the shield art was just too strong. Gentleman's jab that far on the ledge with the walls that close is going to take the stock, and we're going to a game 5.
Yeah, really good stuff for Dank, able to clutch that out there. Unfortunate SDs on both sides, but hey, we take those in these tense situations, and Chito was still able to bring it to a last stock for Dank. He, just because he SD'd, he didn't give up. He was able to still keep it very competitive for himself. So we'll see how all of this, all of the knowledge that has been, gathered so far, how that's going to culminate in this final game here against these two.
Looks like we're going back to PS2. And it can be really difficult in those Game 4 situations where you do SD, where it's unlikely that you'll come back. If you say, do I play for this game and do everything that I can to maybe even cheese out a win or find lucky options, or do I play for information? And so game 5 is going to be kind of our Turing test of, was he playing more for information? The first stock will show it all.
Exactly. So we'll see as we hop into this. Back on PS2, every Smasher's favorite stage to play on.
No, get out of here. Jesus, man. I'm salty because I'm from Georgia and I've watched Cola lose on this stage too many times. It's just ridiculous that he keeps picking it. Anyways.
As a Steve player, I love when people are like, PS2? And I'm like, yeah, sure.
Yes, please. Thank you.
I mean, that's for me.
I'm cool with whatever.
But as we hop into this, we can see Dank already in a pretty significant lead. Chito not really able to find his footing as we start out here, but we can see him kind of reset there as he's using the speed art again to kind of bait in and out. Use it as a micro spacing tool, which I really, really love. It's very creative. It's not something you really see a lot with speed art, but I really like how he's using it.
And he's employing what you were talking about 2 games ago that he didn't employ so much in game 4, these little walks, right? These microspace walks, and that has turned this momentum around so heavily to where we've evened up the first stock again. Those microspacing, just like you're talking about.
Yeah. And I like the high up B coming out from Dank there. He's going to air dodge to avoid a forward air, but it's not going to matter if you stay on the ledge for too long because that smash art forward air is going to call you out for it. But we see Dank go for a good read there, and we're able to parry the get up attack into a back throw. Not going to kill just yet, but Dank no stranger to these situations.
Is there any player that turns around stocks, like reversals a stock deficit as fast as Sir Dank at high percentages? This is the longest I feel like somebody's lived against Sir Dank after losing their first stock.
Yeah, I don't see people living this long too often, so credit to Chito as we're able to get the shield art out to avoid losing a stock there, but I mean, it's Dank. He's going to find something, and there is an up throw with a screen KO. Good stuff for Dank as we lose another stock, but Chito is not out of it. He's going to keep fighting, but Dank is immediately firing on all cylinders with a quick dash check into up air that did 27%, by the way.
Yeah, I think if you're Chito here, you have to start seeing the vision, right? Sir Dank wants to speed up the pace of the game, and it's your opportunity to slow it down. That does require you to get feet back on the ground, which is seemingly impossible at this point, as Sir Dank is on a roll.
Yeah, I mean, he was able to turn a position from just a single turnaround. He was able to turn that into a quick 77%, and Chito was having a hard time kind of really calling things out, but I like the micro spacing, but Dank is going to find a way off the ledge there because Chito is just going to kind of give up stage control here. He's playing really scared.
And I think scared maybe is one way to look at it, but slow is another way, right? Slowing down the pace of the game when Sir Dank wants to do things like this, right? Throw out up smash because he expects you to panic roll in, and then throwing out Falcon dives when you miss an option. So if you slow down the pace of the game, Sir Dank will eventually miss a Falcon dive, will eventually throw out something unsafe. But now you can see that Sir Dank has read it. Now slowing down himself, spacing out with back airs.
Yeah, Dank is so comfortable playing at other people's paces because he knows that with a blink of an eye, he can turn it back to himself. But there's the vision, really good stuff for Chito there, but it's not going to be just enough. He doesn't get like that back hit version of it, so it's not going to kill or anything like that. And Dank, he's really happy about that.
Yeah, and now I'm starting to see Chito using some panic options, right? Still trying to go for these walk micro spacings, but unwilling to commit to a punish when he thinks he has it. And Sir Dank, always on the punish game.
Yeah.
Takes the stock, goes up.
Yeah, you have to be confident against a player like Dank. He's going to sit and shield knowing that Chito doesn't really have an option for that when he's in Smash Art, you know? You're playing with Smash Art, you know that he wants the kill with that. So just playing it safe and waiting, really good stuff from Dank as we continue waiting.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, really just looking for any sort of burst option at this point. Just like Sir Dank is so good at aggressively reversing kills, stocks, Chito wants the same, and Sir Dank's not giving it. Sir Dank is now the one controlling the pace of the game, slowing it down, waiting for Chito to jump in just to get eaten by an air-to-air.
Ooh, and I love the parry on the aggressive option off the ledge and reversing the situation, just like you said, using everything that you're throwing at him as an aggressive way to take control of the game.
There's the missed Falcon dive. That's what you have to be able to do. Use your arts to your advantage and ensure that you force Sir Dank to make a mistake. Now Chito has evened up the stocks, but is it too little too late?
Yeah, it's going to be a one hell of a mountain to climb here as you're sitting at 120%, nearly. But, I mean, hey, it's not impossible. You're playing Shulk, a character that can rack up damage pretty quickly, but you're going to have to do it a lot faster than Dank is able to play.
First time we saw an air dodge back to stage, you can tell that Sir Dank wasn't ready for it. Falcon dive, once again, unpunished. It's very difficult to punish, but you do have speed, art, and air. You should have been able to do that, but unfortunately, Sir Dank is now back in the driver's seat. The parry, no punish, but ready to punish again. The short hop back air. You can tell that Chito was waiting for the Falcon dive. The Falcon dive is what he uses every time, and this time, he jumped expecting the Falcon dive in the other direction, and Sir Dank says, I've got